everyone. If you are new here, my name is Shatoka, and if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. So today I wanted to go over what I made for Chicago Frocktails. So Chicago Frocktails was last weekend. Today is Friday, June 26th or 27th. And Frocktails was last Saturday, and I had such a good time. You guys, if you have a chance to go to a Frocktails event and you are sewers, definitely go. It's such a fun event. So cool to be with like people who are interested in things that you're interested in. Like, we're all going around asking each other like, what pattern is this, and talking about where we get fabric. It's just such a fun time. So this was the second annual Chicago Frocktails. I did go to the one last year, our inaugural, and so I definitely wasn't going to miss it this year. I also went to South Florida Frocktails in April and had such a good time there as well. So if you don't have one in your city, consider traveling to one. Like I said, this was our second annual, and for sure I'm going to Chicago every year unless I'm going to be somewhere else. Like, I live here, so I'm definitely going to be there every year. It was so nice to meet people for the first time, and then also to see people again that traveled into the city to come to the event. It was such a good time. We had a great DJ, it was good food, and like I said, we were talking about our makes, shopping for fabric. It was such a good night. But I wanted to share with you guys what I made for Chicago Frocktails. So I put this flower back on because this is a part of my dress. If you hadn't seen, I had talked about in my June sewing plans that I was going to make the Simplicity dress that has this detachable flower, and it came out great. So this is Simplicity 3099. This is a 2025 pattern. It was like a part of the spring patterns, and I love it. So I made view A and C. So A is the dress and C is the flower, and it is, like, as I said, detachable, and I'm so glad that everything turned out the way it did. I loved my fabric. So I had the fabric for 3 years. My son got it for me in New York 3 years ago, and I was just kind of like waiting around, or I was a little bit afraid to cut into it because I loved it so much, and it was a little bit pricier. But I'm so glad that I made up this dress for this special occasion. So it was so cute. It is a mini. So I did view A, that is that shorter dress. So view C, well no, view B is actually longer. I'm not sure if this is quite maxi, but it is definitely longer, and that one has a split. So this pattern is actually rated average, and I would say average. I would say an advanced beginner could do it as well. The only notions that you need was an invisible zipper, a 14-inch, and then bar pins if you're going to do the flower, because you do have to sew those on the back in order to attach it. The dress came together pretty simply. I did run into some fit issues, but that's like on me. I definitely should have graded between the sizes. I cut a size 20, which I always need a bigger size for like my hips, but I had to take in so much at the top, and I ended up just taking it in from one side of the dress because I had already put the zip on the other side, and because the print was super busy, it didn't look bad. It kind of did have my darts displaced because there are darts like here and there are darts here, so it was a little bit wonky if you got up close on me as far as the darts go. But like, because my print was such a like abstract print, you couldn't tell. But yeah, I'm gonna have to start like grading in between sizes because, hey Stormy, she decided to join. But yeah, so I actually probably should have cut like a 16 at the top and then graded out to the 20 for my the bottom of my dress. But it fit really nice after I did that alteration, and I will definitely make this pattern again, and I'll just make sure that I grade in between the sizes. It's short on me. I'm 5'9", so it was definitely a mini, but it wasn't like mini to where I felt uncomfortable at all. I thought it looked really cute. And then this flower, this was actually, I wouldn't say it's hard, but it is kind of tedious. It's time consuming because I did end up doing like some hand stitching with it, and that took a little bit more time. I wouldn't say I'll be rushing to make another one of these, but I probably will. but it was a little bit tedious. Not hard, just tedious. You don't have to do hand sewing, but once I start gathering in the second flower, because basically it's only 3 pattern pieces for the flower, it's like a base, and then there's this big circle piece that you cut in a spiral, and then you gather it in. So after gathering the first flower in, that was fine. I was able to like machine that, but then getting the second one in, I felt like I had more control to hand sew it, and so that it's like nice and even all the way around. There is a tutorial on Brittany J. Jones' page. I don't know if it's on her page or it's on Simplicity, but she did do a tutorial on the flower, and that's what I watched for the video because I'm visual. I wanted to see someone do it, and yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be rushing to make another one, but I'll probably make one in the future. And now I have like a ton of these bar pins because I went to Michael's and they were like in a pack of like 30, so I could make multiples now. That was the only way I could like buy it in a big pack like that. But as far as the dress, I would say too it's rated average. Again, I cut a size 20. Actually on the dress there is actually only there are 4 pattern pieces for the dress. You have your front and your back, and then you have 2 facing pieces, and then for the pattern piece for the flower it's 3. Really simple. My dress does have some stretch in it, so I do think that I probably even could have went down to 18 at the bottom, but I always like to keep it like safe and go up with the sizing. I did get the pattern envelope for size 12 through 20, so I was like at the top of the size in this one. But yeah, this was a pattern that I'm glad that I picked up. I love a one shoulder, and it turned out really nicely. Again, I had such a good time at Chicago Frocktails. I'll continue to go every year. If you have a Frocktails near you, definitely go. If you guys have any questions on anything in this pattern, let me know. It was pretty straightforward. Like I said, the only notions you needed was a 14-inch invisible zipper. Oh, I forgot to say, it actually is supposed to be a lined dress. However, I didn't line mine because my fabric was not really thick, but it wasn't thin that I needed to line it. So I didn't line mine. So I did about 12 steps. There's about 24 steps total. Look at her trying to get this flower. There's about 24 steps total if you do the full lining of the dress, but I didn't, so I had about 12 steps. But yeah, really easy, straightforward pattern. So again, like I always tell you guys, if you have any questions about anything in the construction of the pattern, let me know. Leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to answer them for you. Also, stay tuned for upcoming videos on the channel. I actually, because this was part of my June sewing plans as well, I also am almost finished with everything that I said that I was going to make in that video, and I'm going to be sharing those things for you guys on the channel. So if you like sewing content and you are not subscribed, I would love to have you here. Also click the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. So until next time, bye.